Good evening, guys. Can I have the videos on, please?
Yeah, students, please everyone switch on your video. And those students who are coming first time for like they come for like a demo class, please introduce yourself as well. So sir can give you the insight of the examinations as well, how aptitude is important for that examination. And then we can continue the number system class after that. Okay.
Radhika, Kajol, Ishani. There's someone called Oppo. Wow, can I have your real name scripted onto the screen? Someone with Oppo F9 Pro. Can I have your real name scripted? Vaibhavi, Nandini. Okay, Nandini is ours. Nandini. Okay. Sudarshan, Sudarshana. Can you all switch on your videos, please? Priya. Right, guys. So, a very good evening to all. Right. So as Gaurav sir said, most of you are preparing for various different year of your examination time center, and I believe this is going to be the formal first aptitude session for you, which will continue, right? So taking the leverage that you guys have love towards maths, right? That's an assumption that I'm doing, that you have too much of craziness towards math. You love math a lot. So I'm taking the privilege of taking this class forward. Okay. Now, so if anyone can let me know, right? So if I ask you straightforward, Vaibhavi, can I, Kumari, Priya, can I have your videos on, please? So if I can, thank you. So if I can ask you that, what is your idea about this entire aptitude sessions and aptitude classes? What do you think? How do you think the classes should go on? No? What is your frame of mind? What do you feel that the classes should go on? What feedback would you like to give me? Jemima, why not start from you? What is your expectation from, so the question is pretty straightforward. What is your expectation from an aptitude class that you're going to attend, right? And how do you think this class should go on?
I think aptitude test is for testing your general things, right?
Okay.
Current affairs, current skills.
And what do you want this? How do you want this class to be?
I want this class to be to know about the current skills and about and the subjects. I think topics like maths and.
Okay, fair enough. No issues. Don't take stress. Don't worry. Okay. Kanmani, how about you? Coming to you now.
Well, aptitude class, I hope to learn about the current things and all the things that I actually require the skill set.
Okay. And how do you rate yourself in when it comes to aptitude? We have various categories, but today we are going to talk about maths as such. So Kanmani, how would you rate yourself into maths? Die-hard fan?
I have a good understanding of concepts. It's just that I make silly mistakes.
All right, great. Anjali, can I come to you?
Yes, sir. I think from the class, from the aptitude class, I want to make sure that everything, like a whole general idea of like what needs to be learned is like I get to understand it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, great. Radhika, coming to you.
It's about keeping your brain sharp, right? It's about knowing what's going on in the world and knowing how to solve logical problems. And I think it's useful in just normal life.
Right. So how do you so what do you expect of these aptitude class? How do you want these classes to go?
I'm I'm not really sure.
I mean, okay, fair enough. So you may not. So this is for others. You may not have an idea of how the classes should go, but you may have an idea of how the classes shouldn't, right? You have been taking online classes from last 1 year now. So you know how the classes should not happen. Forget about how it should happen. At least you know how it should not happen. So trying to figure out a beautiful path where we all travel it in a very good pace. Shraddha,
Yes, sir.
right? Your opinion, your feedback,
So on how the class should not go.
how the classes, what you expect from aptitude, what you expect from an aptitude class.
Mainly generally about current affairs, what's happening,
Uh-huh.
then yeah, general knowledge of subjects.
All right, great. Ishani,
The same, your general knowledge, like logical reasoning and stuff. Also, like you look at one problem in like different angles and with different opinions.
wonderful, great. Kajol,
Yes, sir. Like the same, like general knowledge and how to solve different problems, and it should be interesting and fun to solve
mhm,
them.
great. Thank you. Sudarshana, coming to you.
Problem solving and general knowledge.
Problem solving, general knowledge, great. Who else is left over? Spooty, I think you're left over.
Yes, sir. I would like the aptitude classes to teach me reasoning, logic, um, current world affairs.
Mm-hmm.
I want the classes to be fun, memorable, interesting.
Okay, great. And I have Kumari Priya. I think we did not connect. So can you start your video and please let us know something? Priya, are you there? Priya? Okay, seems to be lost. Right, great. So all of you have one motive, right? So you want the class to be fun. You have to learn certain stuff. So let me, before I begin any kind of a class here, let me introduce you to what are you going to come across. Okay. Now, this was something that I had done as an induction class for few students, but I think I never met you guys. Have we met? No, right? Yeah. So I'll probably take this session today on making you understand, what's going to come up ahead for you. Okay. And how are we going to travel this journey? Because that's very important, right? I mean, learning anything is good. Learning everything is also good. But why do I learn something and where do I apply is the most important aspect of it. Otherwise, there is no fun in that learning. Clear? Now, when it comes to the aptitude side of your examinations, I hope you guys are able to see the whiteboard, right? You can nod your head because I can see you guys. So it's easier that I can understand your expressions and the signal that you try to send. So in a world of aptitude, typically across any kind of an exam you talk about, okay, it's not about just an ID, it's not about just Nata or Nift or a Uceed. It can be any kind of an exam that you want to write in the future also. Aptitude tests you in 4 major skill sets. Okay, the first skill set is English. The reason being is because this is now considered as a universal language for communication, right? Whether I'm talking about a business communication, whether I'm talking about employees communication, whether I'm talking about labor communication. This is considered as the prioritized, the first and the only generalized or neutral, uniform, available communication mode. The other languages go to a different specific zone, right? So to identify how good you are in communication, how to identify how well you can understand English as a language, an aptitude will always contain English as a section to test you, right? Now, what do they test you in English as a section? They test you something called as a RC, which is called as a reading comprehension, to see how well you read, how well are you read, because you guys may be in 10th, 11th, and 12th, right? But over a period of time, when you start working, when you start looking into careers, you will start growing in your career. I mean, if you look at your parents, you would have figured out that your parents, your brothers, sisters, cousins, siblings, uncle, aunt, you will find them to be talking to people, right? To be writing reports, to giving presentations. All these things require a lot of reading for you to happen, right? You have to summarize things, you have to present them. So a reading comprehension is to see how well you read, how fast you read, how quick you grasp informations, right? And post grasping information, how you can project those information to others, to people around you. And thus reading comprehension is one of the criteria that has the testing done. The next testing that we usually do is obviously something that is so very common, and that's vocabulary. What kind of words do you use while framing sentences? Because remember, while we talk, our vocabulary is as important as to whom we talk. If we are talking to someone who's on the labor class, we don't expect you to use high performance or high words, right? Bigger words, the vocabulary with the difficult meanings. We assume that your talks are very simple, your language is very simple. Just think about you talking to a maid, right? Homemaid, housemaid. If I have to ask you to talk to your housemaid in English, do you think you will use high vocabularies there? Or do you try to be as simple as possible? You try to be as simple as possible, right? So that you are able to communicate whatever message you are planning to. But the same thing when it comes to your own classmates, your own friends, you try to be a bit more complicated than an easy language. And when you talk to someone who's superior, then you try to use a bigger words or a influential word. So vocabulary is again one important aspect that is important. Now, apart from this, what's more important is the grammar. If I have to project a past tense and I start projecting it as in a present tense, then the meaning directly changes, right? You would have heard a lot of people using a lot of past tense, present tense, and plural, singular, which has no meaning. I even now hear people saying that I scented the mail, right? Now, what does scented the mail mean? So it's very important that we also know what the grammar that we use while we talk. So these are the areas that the testing is done, because if your basics are clear in this, then it means that you can always improve on it. Okay. And the best way, guys, to ensure that you are on continuously learning on this aspect is please ensure that you read. Now, if you ask me what should I read, the only statement I'll say is anything that you like, but anything that is in English. You may read any novel, which is fiction, non-fiction. You may read any news articles. You may read any biographies. You may read anything under the sun, but as long as it's written in English language. Okay. Now, what happens when you read? When you read, you improve your reading skills. You improve your grammar because you're reading articles from different styles of people, right? Different authors, so their writing style is different. And finally, your vocabulary improves because you start coming across lots and lots of words which you are not aware of the meaning, and you thus look out for dictionaries to find the meaning of them. Am I making sense here, guys? I know it's 4 in the evening, right? You may be sleepy or you would like to run away, but let's spend some time. But am I making sense here to all of you? Right. So start having a practice of reading. Okay. How long should you read? Let's start from half an hour. That's enough. I'm not saying asking you to read for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. Start from half an hour. It can be an e-book. It can be an e-article. It can be a newspaper. It can be a magazine. It can be anything that you can get a hold of it, but avoid regional languages. Okay. Don't start reading Bengali, Malayalam, Tamil, Kannada, Marathi, guys. Please stick to English as a language. Now, this is where the English is important. Now let's come to the next part, the GK. GK is one portion which we call as a general knowledge. Is one portion where the testing is done in two different areas. One is a static and one is current affairs, the dynamic side. Static side means something that has happened in the past and it is never going to change, right? Dynamic current affairs is something that's happening now. So if I ask you Prime Minister of India, it is something that's present, right? You can't. But if I ask you first Prime Minister of India, it's something that's past. So that can be a static or that can be a current affairs. Now, most of the students find this area to be difficult for two reasons. One, how much ever you read, your knowledge is still less in general knowledge and current affairs. Okay? How much ever you read, your knowledge is still left. So no matter what happens in an examination, approximately 40% of the questions, people end up doing a guesswork because I do not know the answer for it. All right. And that's the fear, that's the psychological fear that builds in, that because I am not aware of the answers here, I'm not aware of the final score that I can generate. So the only way you can do a GK better is again when this GK becomes part of this half an hour reading. So I said you can read any article, right? So when you read any further article, you will get a lot of general knowledge information. Try to write it down, try to maintain a diary, maintain a book, or record it in your system. Okay? But keep this information, which you can read once every 2 days, because this is not something that you will remember forever. Okay? You will tend to forget. The next comes math, an area which goes with 50-50 is what I say. 50% of the people who write these exams already fear math. So when they hear math, the subject math, and when they see that kind of a question, the first thing they will do is try avoiding solving it. Okay? So math is a place. Now, what does math cover? Math will cover questions from arithmetic, which is your percentages, profit loss, averages, time, speed, distance, time and work, right? Arithmetic. Then you will have questions from algebra, which is more to do with the quadratic equations as such, right? Coordinate geometry, and so on and so forth. Then you will have geometry and mensuration, which is more to do with angles, lines, triangles, circle, area, volume, kind of a thing. And then you can have single subjects like, or single topics like numbers, the even, odd, prime, composite, natural, integers, and something that most of you love, which is permutation, combination, and probability. Okay?
Sir,
Yes, Radhika.
is there a chance we'll be getting trigonometry?
No. And if so, it's a it's like trigonometry using Pythagoras theorem, Radhika. So I don't worry about it. All right. Trigonometry, statistics, coordinate geometry, these are the things that you can avoid. I mean, you can assume that it's not going to come unless and until you are writing this Uceed exam, which is into IITs. So when you're writing this Uceed exam, which is into entry into IIT JEE, then you can expect a lot more in maths. Okay, because I'm sure you understand the love of maths for IITians, right? So they will test you a lot more in that. Now, stating that, coming to the next part, so you have math here, and finally you have LR, which is our logical reasoning or analytical reasoning, which is more to do with puzzles, right? So you have seating arrangements kind of questions, right? You can have questions on clocks, you can have questions on calendars, have questions on blood relations, direction sense, and so on. If you look at the overall picture, just remember one thing, that Being good in one out of this four, being good in one out of this four is not going to help you crack any of these exams. Being good in two out of this four is also not going to help you crack any of these exams. If you have to crack these exams, you have to be good in minimum 3 out of this 4. And the best position to be is that you be good in all the 4. Now, please understand my words properly. I said good. I didn't say expert. I didn't say topper. Okay? I said being good. Being good in the sense, it means that if I can score 70, 75 out of 100, then I'm good. Okay? Anything below 70 is not good. Now the point is, out of 4, if I have to be good in 3, then trust me, guys, I have to be expert in 1. Please note, let's take Anjali here. If there are 4 categories that I'm dealing with, English, general knowledge, math, and logical reasoning, Anjali will have at least 1 weakness out of these 4. That weakness of hers should be my strength. Otherwise, I cannot beat Anjali. And the similar way, Anjali will have 1 strength, which is my weakness. If I do not want Anjali to beat me, then my weakness should either become strong or it should be my strength. Okay? So it's all the 4 areas that we are dealing are equally important. You cannot neglect them. The problem that people face is because aptitude contains so less a percentage of weightage in the main exam, where creativity has a lot of weightage, people spend a lot of time on the creative side. Okay, preparing them, practicing them, because there are 2 things here, guys. The preparing is fun and the practicing is also fun. If I give you 4 things, draw something, do a maths problem, draw a puzzle, or read a GK information, which will be the first thing that you will choose? Most of you will choose to draw. Okay, because that's more creative, that's more fun loving, and that's why you are here. But then if you keep doing only that, then the remaining 3 goes down the drain. Okay, you cannot ignore that, and that's why aptitude becomes as much important as possible. Clear, guys? This is your understanding. This is my understanding of what an aptitude is to you all. Now let me tell you what exactly. So let me give you an example. I give you 3 questions. No question has an answer option here. Okay, I give you 3 questions. First question is, who is Chief Minister of Nagaland? Done. Second question is, what is 24? Don't use mobile, don't use Google search, don't use calculator, don't do anything. Next question is, 14.28% of 70 is how much? Third question is, what should come in place of the question mark? So, and the fourth question is, okay, I'll give you the fourth question. What is the meaning of the word above? So I have given you 4 questions. Don't have to write down, guys. Don't worry. Okay. This learning is something else. Anjali, if I have to ask you to choose 1 out of these 4, which one will you choose to solve?
The second one, sir.
The second one. If I have to ask you, Anjali, continuing with you, and if I have to ask you to choose 2 out of these 4, which one will you choose?
The second and third one.
The second and the third one. So remember, I'm only asking you to choose to solve, okay? I'm not asking you to guys to know to get this right. I'm only telling you which one will you choose to solve. Ishani, are you there? By the time Ishani comes, yeah, Ishani. So which one will you choose, Ishani? If you have to choose one out of these four and then choose two out of these four.
It depends on the question, actually.
I
It's
have
like,
put the question on the screen,
yeah,
Ishani.
probably the second one first, and
Okay.
then second and third.
Second and third, right, Ishani? Great. Kajol.
Sir, actually, my name is Mehak and my mother's name is Kajol, so it's written over there.
Can you rename it? Do you have
My
the
name's
provision of
Mehak.
no? Can you rename that? That provision is there. I think.
I'll do it
rename?
for. I'll do it for also.
Okay. Mehak, yes, Mehak. Please tell me, and please apologize your mother from my end. Okay. All right. Yes, Mehak. Please tell me which one will you pick?
Sir, the second one.
The second one. And if you have to choose two out of it?
The third one.
Second and the third. Right. Great. Sudarshana.
The second and the third one.
Second and the third. Remember, guys, you have an option of not choosing anything also. Okay. That's also an option, right? You're not forced to choose. You have an option of saying that I don't want to choose anyone. Right. So, Kanmani.
Well, I would attempt everything, because even if it's wrong.
I'll attempt everything even if it's wrong. But what does your gut feeling say? Which one you may get right?
The second one for sure.
Second one for sure. So I'll come back to you, Kanmani, for that answer. Okay. Shraddha.
So second.
Second. Jemima.
Actually, I'm not confident in my max, so.
So which one will you choose? Okay, not good in maths. Fair enough. Meaning of Abhor, Chief Minister of Nagaland. Which one will you choose, or you will leave all the four?
Chief Minister, first one.
First one. Okay, great.
I'd like to solve the last one.
Last one. Great. Radhika.
Second and fourth.
Second and fourth. Radhika seems to be quite confident there. Spurti.
Second, third, and fourth, sir.
All three of them. Great. Okay. So, Priya, how about you?
Second, sir.
Second one. Great. So many of you have selected second. Can you quickly tell me the answer for the second one?
9.996.
It's actually 10. Okay.
I mean, I gave you the more accurate answer.
Okay, fair enough. No issues. 14.28% of 70 is so. So let's understand this. You know what happened in all these four questions that I gave you? Your mindset worked in a different plan. When you read the first question, you were more interested in saying that I will solve this provided there is an answer option given to me. Okay. Without an answer option, I doubt of solving. Anyone knows the Chief Minister of Nagaland? But if I give you four answer options, there is a chance that you can identify that. Correct? Right. Second one, I didn't give you an answer option, but still you were confident that I just have to solve it and get the answer out. The third one, again, you are confident that I can just solve and try to get the answer out, even if there is no answer option. And the fourth one, probably people who are good in vocab will identify this. Others may want to see the answer options. So one thing that you guys have to understand this is there are certain questions which require the least amount of time to solve. Okay. And one such category of questions is general knowledge. Who is the Chief Minister of Nagaland? When you hear this question, within 2 seconds, you will realize your mind will say that I know or I do not know the answer. You will never sit and try to search for an answer. You will never sit and try to solve for an answer. Okay. So GK becomes so important for us because GK is the only category in this entire paper which actually saves our time. Okay. Rest all category of questions actually utilizes our time. But GK is the only place which saves our time, because every 5 seconds or every 10 seconds, I can solve one question in GK. But in 10 seconds, a math question is only read and understood. Okay, so that's why GK is so very important. Coming to math, logic, and English. A logical question, most of them like to do because they are very, very inviting. But trust me, a question of this nature is a nightmare to have. Because even after thinking aloud, spending 2 to 5 minutes, there is a 99% that you will get this wrong. Anyone who tried to solve the third one, can you tell me what comes on the slab or on the dash?
5, 6, so F and S.
Thank you, Kanmani. 0, O is nothing but starting letter of 1. The word 1. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's 5 and 6 that comes here. Right? Similarly, you get this kind of arrangements for January, February, March, April, May. You get this kind of arrangement also. But the beauty of these questions are, once you know it, once you have done it, you can always identify them. But if you are not done, you will never be able to identify them. Okay? Coming to English. How do I remember these meanings of the word abhor? Anyone?
So when you repeatedly read a word, you
Uh-huh.
automatically learn the meaning of it when you see it used in a sentence.
Absolutely, absolutely. But Spurti, the clue here that you have given, the biggest clue here is I have to repeatedly
Read it.
read the word, come across the word, right?
Yeah.
Most often what happens is, while we are reading an article, it's very difficult to come across one single word many a times. Okay, so what we usually do is, when we read a word and when we not a common word, right? When we read an uncommon word whose occurrence is very, very low, what we usually do is we try to find the meaning of that word and we try to create a sentence which is related to our real-time experience or real life experience. For example, I have written this word abhor because I read only once and I remember it even after almost a decade now. Okay. What's the meaning? Anyone? What's the meaning of the word abhor?
Despise, hate.
Hated and disgust. Yeah.
Right. So hatred, right? So what I did is I just remembered an instance of my life which I hated, right? And I formed a sentence using the word abhor. So now it so happens that I don't forget this word, I don't forget this meaning. Right? So it's as Purti said, one place of remembering a word is when you come across that word quite frequently. And you have read the meaning of it on the first go. The next go you will remember. And sometimes it so happens is you may not remember the meaning of the word, but you will understand the sentence in which it has been used. And that's how you come out with the meaning of the word. Or there are many places when you come out of the meaning of a word by using the suffix, the prefix, the roots. So there are multiple ways of identifying word and its meaning. Okay. The choice is how better it is for you, how good it is for you. That's what you're going to utilize it. Now let's look into the math part. Obviously, the math becomes tough in case you have not learned it, right? But let's understand what is 14.28%. So before we understand this, let's understand what a percentage is. Remember, percentage is part of a value. Okay, it cannot be independent. So if I say Mehak, give me 40%. What do you understand from this statement? Nothing. Because I have just said Mehak, give me 40%. Shraddha, give me 60%. But of what? It can be of your money, it can be of your time, right? So when you're talking about percentage, it has to be of something. This is a part of something. Okay, so 14.28% means it is 14.28% of some value. Now 14.28% itself is nothing but 1/7 of a value. So if I say, Spoti, give me 14.28% of the money that you hold, she has to give 1/7 of the money she holds. Okay. So when it is 14.28% of 70, you have to give 1/7 of 70. And what is 1/7 of 70? It's 10 rupees. Did you guys understand this? Right. So every question has its own importance. Every question has its own difficulty level and the speed, accuracy in which you can solve. And the way you prepare for these questions also matter a lot. So how are we going to deal with it, especially when it comes to logical reasoning and math? Because English is more to do with practice. GK is again more to do with reading. But when it comes to math and logical reasoning, there is a proper structure involved. So I may not start maths class today as such, but I would like to tell you what you will go through in the next couple of months, years that we will be engaging with. First, in every class, you will be taught basic concepts. Remember, concepts are broken as topic-wise, and in the topic-wise also, it is further broken as subtopic-wise. Okay, so if I'm teaching percentages, I will not just teach percentages, but I will teach percentages, I'll teach percentage change, then I'll teach successive percentage increase, successive percentage decrease, right? All those, so subtopics. So first and foremost is we will teach you concepts in the basic side. Now you have to remember one thing, that if this part goes weak, then the entire building that you're constructing will fall down. So this has to be strong. For this to be strong, what you guys have to keep doing is you guys have to keep irritating the faculty, asking them the question to repeat, asking them to repeat the concept, unless and until you are clear with it. Did you understand this? If you shy away saying that, okay, others are understanding it, let me be quiet, then it is of no use for you. You are not going to do anything good for yourself. Okay, so keep asking your concepts, clarifying your concepts. Once concepts is taught, what next we do? We practice questions, where the idea is that we apply the concepts that we learned. Okay, well, we need to know where to apply the concepts. Once we have practiced and applied the concepts that we learned, then we go to the biggest, the most important aspect of our preparation, and that is using shortcut methods to solve the question. The biggest and the most crucial part of our preparation. Why? Because if I give you 10 questions in maths, please note that there will be at least 5 questions where you will require 3 minutes per question. But there will be at least 5 questions where you will require 15 seconds per question. If I am unable to identify these two, then I will end up spending more than required time only in solving maths question. And trust me, guys, if you ask your those people who have already written Nift, NID and other exams earlier, and if you ask them, first thing they will say is, I couldn't get time to finish the paper. That's the only statement that they make, that I didn't get time to finish the paper. I didn't get time to go through the questions. I didn't get time to solve the questions, because they have not segregated the easy ones and the difficult ones. Okay. So the third portion is where we teach you the shortcut methods to solve the questions. Okay. And what after that? After that, we again give you practice questions to now use all kinds of methods to solve. Remember, all these competitive exams doesn't see the kind of method used to solve a question. They are more important to see how accurate you are. Have you got the right answer? How did you get the right answer is secondary for them. They don't even bother about it. You might get a right answer by guessing it, right? So they don't bother. So it's very important for us to understand that, apply the concepts or shortcut methods into the questions. Finally, we get into taking tests, because now I have to apply all my learning against my biggest competitor, and that's called as time. That's my biggest competitor, because he is always ticking away and he's not giving me extra time to solve the paper. So I have to start applying all my learning against time. And try, guys, the first learning for you today is that please note, if you want to be the top, let's say 10% of the students who are writing this exam, any exam that you guys are writing, top 10%, then you got to learn the art of living. Okay? Not living, art of living. You got to know that if there are 100 questions given to you, trust me, no one who's going to write this exam is solving all those 100 questions. They are solving less than that. They may be solving around 70 or 80 questions. But the point is, which are those 80 questions that you have to solve plays the biggest critical role rather than those 100 questions. Did you guys understand? So in every class, while we are teaching you, while you are practicing questions, we will also teach you the art of learning, living. That is, what kind of a question, when you should leave, what kind of a question, how you should leave, and if you have to leave, right? And what kind of questions you have to attempt and when you have to attempt. So this will be a continuous journey for you. Clear with this? While you will learn a lot more about solving questions, you will learn a lot more about, shortcut methods, and that's going to be the fun part. The shortcut methods is going to be the biggest fun for you. Right? So that's what it is today. So today I will not be starting any maths class as such. I thought of starting numbers, but then I thought you should know how your journey is going to be. You should be mentally prepared and you should be ready for it. I hope you understood this. So what you guys have to do is look at today, when you have free time, ask yourself that given a choice between a general knowledge and English, logical reasoning and maths, which one is your weakest area? The weakest area should be prepared on a daily basis. Okay? Rank your weakest area from 1 to 4. 1 being the weakest, 4 being the least weakest or slightly strongest. The weakest area has to be prepared on a daily basis. The area which is ranked number 2 is prepared on an alternate day basis. Now, please note, it's only half an hour of preparation. No? I don't want you to prepare for 1 hour, 2 hours. Because you guys are going to write the exam not next year, but the year later or so. Your energy should be there for almost 2 years now. Okay? Everyone would have taught you. What do you learn from marathon? Spurti? What do you learn from this race called marathon?
Start slow and speed up at the end.
Start slow and speed up at the end, right? This is what we learned. But then there is an important part. While you start slow and speed up in the end, always remember that you stay with the crowd. Because otherwise, by the time you speed up, others would have crossed the finish line. Okay, so always stay with the crowd while you're starting slow and speeding it up. So that's why half an hour daily is important. Okay, weakest area, every day. Second ranking weakest area, alternate days. Third ranking weakest area, once in 3 days or once in 4 days. And your not so weakest area, twice in a week. And you're done. But that's only half an hour. But something that you have to do additionally to this half an hour. And what that would be? Anyone? Kanmani? Any clue? Hey, come on. I started by saying half an hour every day you have to do something. Shraddha?
Reading.
Thank you. Yeah, reading. That's something that you guys have to do. Read whatever you like. Okay, there is no restriction on what you read. Read whatever you like. Always start with something that you like, because you should you should always develop an interest to reading. It cannot be forced. Reading cannot be an act of force. Okay, so always start reading something that you like, build that interest, and then build on it. Clear? Right. Mehak, Anjali, Sudarshana, Ishani, Kanmani, Jemima, Spurti, Shraddha, Radhika, Priya, anything that you guys want to ask or know or clarify, please let me know. No? Okay. So I'll tell you my background and I'll tell you what I'm going to do whenever I'm going to meet you. I'm going to share with you all that I have done while I was preparing for one of the toughest entrance examinations of this country, called as Common Admission Test, which is an entrance examination for the MBAs. Okay? One of the toughest management entrance examination, where my score has been only 99.69 out of 100. So I am only going to, I'm not going to do anything here, but only going to share with you what I have done. That's all. And if you think that I am academically a very, very strong person, then no. My academics has been average or below average always since my probably 9th. Okay. But the idea is this, that an aptitude exam is nowhere written in the way that we write a board exam or a subject exam. It's an entirely different concept. It's an entirely mind game. It's an entirely strategic game. Okay? You got to be shrewd to clear an aptitude exam. Clear? Right, guys? So this is my promise. You can expect that from me, that I can share all my experience that I've done, all my learnings that I have done to crack these exams, right? And you can, if you like it, take it. If you don't like it, reject it. Nobody is asking you to hold to on it, but you should know about it. Okay? Right. Any query, any doubt, any question that you guys have right now, you can throw it on. Nothing? Puthi? All great? Sister is waiting behind you, I guess, for you to come and play with her.
Brother, sir.
Brother, okay. Right. Jemima, anything that you have?
No, sir, everything is clear.
Great. Jemima, I would request you to start reading, okay? You need to do a lot of reading because you need to build the confidence of talking. For that, start reading. And if others are reading for half an hour, then you push yourself to read for 1 hour. Okay?
Okay.
Do more than what others are doing. Right. Ishani, anything that you have? No? Sudarshana? No. Okay. So tell me more about you. What are you guys into? What are you studying, and which part of the country do you come from? Because COVID has made people close but yet far, right? Anjali?
Yes, sir. So I study in GEAR Innovative International School in Bangalore. And
Where? GEAR?
Yeah, GEAR.
Okay. And Bangalore, great. Which class?
I'm going to 11th this year.
You're going to 11th. And what's your stream?
Humanities.
Wow. That's in GEAR in Sarjapur, right?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
All right, great. I'm from Bangalore, by the way, Anjali. So that's why I said. Mehak, how about you?
Sir, I'm from Mumbai and I have just completed my 10th standard and will be going to 11th.
All safe, Mehak, Mumbai?
Yes, sir.
At least at home?
Yes.
Great. Sudarshana?
I'm from Bangalore and I'll be going to 12th this evening.
You're going to 12th, and which school, which PU college junior college do you study in?
JSS in Hyderabad.
GSS? All right, okay, great. Shraddha?
So I live in Bangalore, currently started 11th in Deans.
Deans. So you stay somewhere close to Whitefield?
Yeah.
Okay. Jemima, how about you?
I just completed my 12th class.
Oh, you completed your 12th. From where, Jemima?
From Bishop Hodges. I'm from Kerala.
Okay. Which part of Kerala?
Alappuzha.
Alapi, okay. Right. Thank you. Kanmani, how about you?
Well, I'm from Bangalore and I just started in DPS East for 11th grade. Yeah, my
DPS
stream.
East. Okay.
Yeah, my stream is PCM and design.
All right. Great. So you also stay somewhere close to Whitefield in that case.
No, I stay in HSR.
Ah,
In,
at DPS East.
yeah,
Yeah, it's in Sarjapur. Yeah.
All right. Good, good, good. Across the Bangalore. Good traffic. Lucky to be at home. Ishani, how about you?
I'm going, like, I'm in 10th right now, and I'm also in DPS East.
All right. Great. See, Kanmani, that's how you meet people, right? Spurti, how about you?
So I finished my 9th a few months back. I'm currently doing my first exam of 10th. I live in Bangalore.
Which
SFS
school
Public
are you?
School.
Which one?
SFS Public School.
SFS. And you already finished starting your 10th exam, first term?
Yes, sir.
What, your school guys were thinking that they will finish your 12th
They
also by
wanted to
next year?
finish the 10th by October and then start revision.
Oh, okay. I thought they would finish their 12th by next year. In the speed. Right, Radhika, how about you?
I currently live in Bangalore and I'm going to start 10th grade in Primus Public School next month.
Ah, that's nice. Priya, how about you?
Sir, I'm from Bihar. I just completed my 12th.
All right, great. Fair enough, guys. So do well, right? Be safe, and we will connect again. The next class will be, I'll try to create it as a fun class, right? So that I can see some smile in Shraddha's face at least. Shraddha is very serious today. So chalo then. Any no doubts? If you have any doubts, you can always note it down and get back to me in the next class, right, guys?
Yes, sir.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot then.
Thank you, sir.
Krishna sir, I'm done.
Thank you,
Anything
sir.
that you want to add?
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Anything Krishna Gaurav want to add?
No. So fine. Now they have another class as well. So they
Oh,
have
okay.
to enter in
Fair
another
enough.
class. Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Bye. See you.